In this video, we will look at some of the best ways to improve your listening skills for the IELTS exam. So, let's begin. Hi there, this is Mr. Brick from IELTS Mr. Brick, and on this channel we cover everything IELTS related. That includes tips, tricks and tutorials. So if this is something that you're interested in, consider subscribing. Now let's get started. One of the best ways to improve your IELTS listening score is to use practice tests. Practice tests are often referred to as mock tests, and you can find many mock tests online. In fact, I will leave some of my personal recommendations in the description below, so make sure to check that out. Completing these mock tests will help you in many ways. For example, they will help you understand the format of the exam. They will also help you understand the instructions of the exam. And most importantly, they will help you with your overall listening skills. Also, by completing these mock tests, you will have a better understanding of which parts of the exam you find easy and which parts of the exam you find difficult. Then, once you know this information, the next time you complete a practice listening test, you will know which areas to focus on more. For example, there are approximately 10 different question types in the listening exam. That includes true, false, not given type of questions, and also matching heading questions. So, for instance, if you complete a practice exam paper and you really struggle with true, false, and not given questions, then that way you know that this is the area that you need to focus on when studying. Now, this tip you don't just want to do once. In fact, you should be trying to practice using mock tests on a regular basis. Remember, practice makes perfect. Another way to improve your IELTS listening score is to read the questions in the exam before the audio begins. So in the exam, before you hear the audio, you will have some time to read the questions on the question paper. Now, it is very important that you don't just sit there doing nothing during this part of the exam. What you want to do is actually take the time and read the questions in the exam before the audio begins. Why? Because that way you will know what to look out for when the audio begins. For example, if one of the questions is asking for an email address, then when you listen, you will know that you need to pay extra attention when an email address is being talked about. This will help you decide what exactly you need to listen for. For example, if some of the questions are about sports, then you know that when the audio begins, you need to hear out for sports vocabulary. Now, the structure of the IELTS listening test is the same in every exam. For example, section 3 is always based on an academic setting such as a university. This means that it is a good idea to learn university-related vocabulary. So, when studying, you can learn words such as university, academic setting, campus, and tuition. Now, the next tip is only for the paper-based exam, and that is to transfer your answers correctly. So, in the paper-based exam, you will be given 2 sheets of paper. One is the question paper, which you will have throughout your exam, and then you will also be given your answer paper. So, whilst the audio is playing, you will answer all the questions in the question paper. Then, in the final 10 minutes of the listening section, you will be given this 10 minutes, to transfer your answers from the question paper to the answer paper. So, make sure you do this correctly. What you don't want to do is transfer answer number 3, and then you do it wrong and write it for answer number 4. Does that make sense? Because that will be marked as incorrect. So make sure when transferring your answers, you do them accurately. Now, to help you do this accurately, what you can do is practice on paper-based exams before your exam even starts. That way, when it comes to your exam, you can do this without putting much effort in. Oh, and just before we forget, a lot of people ask me this question in my Facebook groups, and the answer is yes, you can write in capital letters. The next tip is to check for your mistakes. After each section in the IELTS exam, you will be given 30 seconds to check your answers. Now, 30 seconds is not a lot of time, so make sure you use this time wisely when checking your answers. Again, make sure you have written everything correctly, and as I said before, make sure that there are no spelling errors. Now, the next tip is not so much something that you should do, but rather something that you should not do, and that is to not leave any answers blank. Remember, when you leave an answer blank, you will 100% get that answer incorrect. However, if you just write something in the answer section, there is still some possibility that you might get the answer right. So definitely take this opportunity and ensure that you do not leave any answers blank. Now, the next way you can improve your listening skills is to focus. But what does that actually mean? So, for example, the test starts off with the easiest questions, and you will find the most difficult questions towards the end of the exam. Oh, and also the speed of the speech also increases at a really fast rate towards the last two sections of the exam. So that means you need to be alert and pay attention throughout the whole exam, but especially in the final two sections of the IELTS listening exam. Now, if there are any tips that you found helpful that I have not mentioned, please put them in the comment section below so other people from our community can benefit. Also, if you like this video, you might want to check out this video on the screen where I explain some of the best ways to improve your speaking skills. Also, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.